It's Vikram here, Chief Architect and founder for Bluebricks and previously known as Mula Technologies. Okay, I'm kind of excited. Uh, we want to share with you that we have actually rolled out multi-purpose APIs, which essentially is a set of services that are going to empower any startup company or any mobile company or any e-commerce or any basically any tech company or any company who's moving into more automation to actually provide the next generation of APIs that are just not just sending emails or sending messages like Twilio, but actually it's doing much more. So our objective is to actually help you save time and save money. uh, it's basically going to be a comprehensive set of services. So we have started with almost about 12 right now, and it's basically 10 plus. And then the idea is that we want you to enjoy these services and quickly rapidly extract the maximum value out of them. So what will be the key benefits will be that it's not something which is on premise, so it's going to be on the cloud, and then you can have your own account and you can have the whole system ready and you can use it. So it will be pay per user or pay per use, and then you will have easy setup. So it's like basically everything is online, so you don't need to do anything once you get the account activated, and you can straight away have all the APIs for your access, for enjoying them. Next generation services, I'll explain you a little bit more on the services part. And then it's a startup enabler. So a lot of startups actually need what we call it as certain levels of things to be done, let's say in terms of security or in terms of user validation or email validation, or if let's say you want to do push notifications. So all these are a lot of things which you want as necessary tools that you want to build with on and stay focused on your core problem that you're trying to solve. So all these necessary utility services become very much part of how you can quickly get your rapid development done. And then I think we strongly believe that it's always a shared economy in a way that you can actually create collaboration together and grow together. So I think if your application becomes successful, then automatically it also helps us. So if we can give you more leverage in terms of our expertise to you, then you can actually enjoy it. And then it's self-service, so it's immediately. So as soon as we go live, you're gonna have it and you can enjoy these services, and you can use these services immediately as soon as you start using it. Sandbox is basically for you to test out all the various APIs that will be made available, and it's highly secure. Why I would say that is because we are using what we call it as multi-factor authentication and mobile PKI for when you log in and access your APIs. And then we're also going to have certificates based authentication, as well as a long key API token, what we call it as, which is specific for each API call, that you can restrict a number of calls that can be made. So a lot of things. So how you can go about it, all you have to do is just create your free account for sandbox testing. Then you need to buy some credits, so we'll have some packages which will be made available. So something like standard or premium packages which will basically be credits. So these are the credits you will use in terms of when you call these APIs. And then you just we highly say that you will unleash your innovation, so you will enjoy these services and build much more on top of that, and then make this world a better place. So what are the multi-purpose services that we are coming out, and we will work to extend it to much more in near future. So the first one is if you want to put a simple image-based authentication, where let's say if somebody comes onto your website, then a lot of times attacks are happening where somebody lands up on a wrong website. So with this very simple non would you say hardware token driven or certificate driven security actually adds a great value, and it actually lets the user know that he or she is on the right website. So that's what will come in. And one special thing we have added is sweet spot. So I think I will not go into details, I'll just explain you very briefly. So that will adding to your security. Then the SSL discovery. You won't believe sometimes like big companies like Google or some of the Asian banks, like I think I would name a lot of them. So what happens is that your certificates expire, And again, it might be an operational, very small thing, but it actually is a big impact in terms of your brand. Or you're using a certificate which is actually a weak certificate, or you're using a certificate which is going to expire, or has certain kind of vulnerability. So you need to monitor that. And if you have a fleet of your portals that you're managing, and websites that you're managing, or applications that you're managing which need those kind of certificate checking, that it should be valid, it should be trusted, then this is a fantastic tool to use. Then third one is document security. Again, sign, encrypt, and merge. So if you're working with PDF files, which could be, let's say, your invoices, your documents which are floating in and out. Now, one of the biggest threats which happens right now is that they can be faked. So if you go to a website PDF to doc.com, or many other websites are there which can actually translate or extract the information out of your PDF files, and then you can they can remake it. So again, the authenticity becomes questionable, whether that particular document is a valid document or not. Now, how do you address to that is by digitally signing them. So once you digitally sign it, the document becomes completely tamper proof, and even if somebody tries to copy it, they cannot have the signature part, so that will add tremendous value. Then the second is password protection. So if you are sharing certain documents which let's say credit card statements, or your application demands certain document to be password protected or protected, then you can do that. And then third one is, obviously, if you have certain flow where you want to merge certain documents together, and then obviously sign them, and then do the protection, then you can do that. So, and lastly, it's the multiple signer, where you have more than one person which is signing the same document. So if you really have to do it in your own application, in terms of legality aspect, it takes a lot of effort at your end. You have to buy a lot of SDKs. So now with these services, you can actually do it literally with just making a call and getting it done. Yeah. The next one is in-app push notification. In-app push notification is it's basically it's what we call it as, it's available for iOS, Android, as well as for certain web browsers now, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, a few to mention. So what we have done is that we have given you a single platform. So if you're building your application, a mobile application or web application, and you want a system that can actually help you send those pushes out to your users, without actually having the whole headache of managing or having the repositories which will manage those device IDs and things like that, you can actually use in-app push notification service, where we will do the device ID management for you, and then you can actually decide whom to send, what message to send, and things like that. So again, it takes away a lot of headache from your side. Then next is tokenization. Okay, it's nothing to do with one-time password tokens or USB tokens, anything like that. It is purely to do with in terms of PCIDSS. So there's a concept called tokenization. You can Google it out. What it means is that you actually do not exchange data between different entities. You exchange the token. Now this token is a derived representative or representation of the data, and data doesn't travel between different entities, only the token does. And it is, again, it's a very ephemeral, it's a very time bound token value, which actually expires after a certain time or gets destroyed after a certain time. So PCIDSS is demanding, especially if you're making wallet applications, if you're making payment applications, even if you're not making these kind of financial applications, even if you're doing, let's say, health, or you're doing trading, or if you're doing some kind of legal kind of workflow, or in general any workflow where you don't want any sensitive data to travel in and out, then this is something which will add extreme good value to you. So our service covers you to create, also control what should be the data, how length should be the data, and then whether it's secure or not secure, things like that on the server side. So a lot of things are already provided, so it takes away the headache from you in terms of making this this particular regulation kind of requirement which comes in. Yeah. Again, just to add over here, you control the security key, so it's actually fully under control by you. It's just that it runs on our servers. Yeah. Next is facial biometrics. Now this is something which is coming a lot everywhere. So what we have done is that if you're especially going for a complete, paperless, and a secure way of doing things, you want to make sure that it's the right person who's coming in. Now, how do you do that? So if possibly I have my, my driving license where I have my picture over there, and then I want to capture my face and then do a, facial biometrics to see if it's the right person who's coming and registering themselves. Now, to do that, you have to spend a lot of, effort, right, to actually get it done. But what we have done is that we have created it as a service for you. So all you have to do is just call these RESTful or SOAP self services, and they can actually do the job for you. So you can do registration of new faces, you can add more contents, you can suspend users, you can kind of verify them, whether they're the right people who are coming in or not. So that actually helps you to eliminate this all this extra piece of coding, and also it actually helps you streamline your business by having a proper KYC or proper user registration done using facial biometrics. So it's kind of very, very powerful feature. The next one is handwritten signature. So if you are having a workflow where you're possibly taking your phone and then asking the user to sign it, or you have a web page where you're asking somebody to actually scribble on their pad and then capture that information as the signature. Again, similar to facial biometrics, you can also do the same process where the handwritten signature can be matched and seen that whether this particular signature is matching the old old registered signature, and then you can say whether you want to allow or whether you don't want to allow. Yeah, so we are actually trying to eliminate the what we call it as the paper dependency and help you move towards the paperless approach. But in doing that, we are making sure that the security is intact. That means that the user is the right user who's coming and doing it. Yeah. So okay, the next one is nudity check. What we actually try to do over here is that a lot of times what happens is that your website gets it's open for anybody to post, and certain bad users will actually start posting stuff which is not appropriate, right? So over there, what we are trying to do is that we are helping you in terms of find out if the image is a proper image, appropriate image, or it's an improper image, or which is not appropriate in terms of your this thing. So basically we are checking the how much his skin is getting exposed into the picture, and if you're allowing that or not. So we will actually tell you whether what is the level of exposure of the skin in terms of that picture that is being uploaded, and then based on that you can actually decide whether you want to allow the user to submit it or not submit it. Yeah. Okay, the ninth one is Google token authentication. Now, as you all know, Google has provided us a fantastic free one-time password token, and we highly recommend that any application, or if you're a bit too cost sensitive, then you can actually use this particular token. It's quite simple, quite straightforward, not too I wouldn't say it's one of the best tokens available, but it's a good token to have surely if you're doing web or VPN or email, or your own custom workflow where you want to have the second factor coming in. In fact, if you look at PCIDSS, if you look at a lot of central banks, or if you look at a lot of trading companies, even if you look at Google and Facebook, they have actually put, or Salesforce, even they have actually put one-time password based login option also in their list of supported features. So so now you can do it with your own application. So you can ask your users to download the Google token, and on the other hand, you want the server-side component, which is basically needed for verification. So when the user uses the token to generate the one-time password on the phone, and they key it onto your website, then you want that one-time password to be verified. So obviously two things come in. One is the user registration with the token and the association and activation of that, and the second is the actual verification of the token, of the OTP which is being generated. So to do that, we are actually exposing the services for you, so you can use these services and manage the user token relationship, as well as you can also do the OTP validation. Again, a fantastic system. You don't need to get burdened with anything. All you have to do is just follow a few steps. Within 3 or 4 steps you can actually get this thing done. The last one is digital certificate. We have realized that Digital certificate is so powerful. If you really look at it, it forms the backbone of blockchain. Everybody is super excited about blockchain, but the essence of blockchain actually comes from PKI, comes from certificate based public private key based approach of actually signing data and protecting data. Now, how many people actually get to have the certificates? You can have a free certificate, you can have a commercial certificate. Again, doesn't matter whether it's free or commercial, the strength is already in there. Again, sorry about that. So you can sign your emails, you can encrypt your emails, you can have HTTPS servers. Let's say if you're doing server to server communication, or if you're doing client side mobile app, signing some data or encrypting some data and pushing it to the server, you can use certificates. You can use for HTTPS, you can use it for VPN, you can use it for Wi-Fi. Now, how do I get my certificate? Again, it's not very easy to do it, so a lot of time people just ignore it, and they say, okay, I'll go get a commercial one. But again, commercial one will be for your for your server. But what about your users? What about your actually data at rest? So a lot of places certificates can play a very, very good role. So what we have done is that we have come out with digital certificates service, where you can actually request for a certificate to be issued, which could be free or commercial. We highly recommend you to use it. You can download free certs, or you can generate free certs as many as you want using these services and not get burdened with this thing. So again, these 10 services which I've shared with you are basically adding to the to your applications in terms of security, in terms of value add. And we sincerely hope that we can actually build a lot of more services and offer it to you. Last thing which I would like to say is that we're going to have a soon beta release of this, and the price point we're going to set for these is going to be extremely low, so anybody and everybody can get access to these. We're going to have these available on AWS cloud. Also, we're gonna make it available on Microsoft Azure, and that way we can actually bring some more value to you. So we are also gonna have an enterprise version, which is gonna be a dedicated server for you, which will actually have all these features provided to you either on the cloud, and if need be, because of some regulations or your specific demand, or in terms of speed and performance, if you want it an on-premise deployment, that is also doable with all these services. So I'm quite excited, and I hope that you can see the value which our these services are going to bring to you. And we hope that you can hop onto our new platform for multi-purpose services or APIs, and we can get to work together and make the world a better place, and make awesome software and innovate more much sooner. Yeah. So thank you so much. Signing off, it's Vikram Sareen from Bluebricks Technology. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.